Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, September 19th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread for today? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are our Seven of Wands in its upright, in combination with our Wheel of Fortune in its upright. Let's talk about this energy right now. I want to describe it, and I've been trying to walk you guys through this ever since this eclipse season started. This is a very, very spiky eclipse cycle. Typically, when we're going through eclipse cycles, it feels like everything, it's like, and I want to just, like, the reason this feels harder than typical is because typically when we're going through eclipse cycles, it just amplifies the energy that we're in. We get very, like, it can sometimes create a lot of that amplification. The thing that's important to note, and this is about this particular eclipse, and this is why I keep on articulating to please, 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 please not be energetically reactive during this eclipse cycle, is the understanding or working on the space of observing and identifying what one is like. It's the retrograde can often create a lot of energetic pressure. Now, the best way I can describe it is I want you to imagine that the energy right now, the eclipse energy, is effectively discordant. Okay, and the reason I keep on describing it to a certain extent as energetically discordant is because we've got the intensity of the eclipse, which feels like, with the intensity of the eclipse, which feels like an uplift, and then we've got the heaviness of the retrograde, which feels like the energetic, like, pressure upon things. So I think everything that we keep on seeing right now, if you're telling me that you have moments that you feel good and then suddenly you don't, like, welcome to this energetic frequency. Right? Yeah, that's how the energy is. One of the most important things about it is making sure that one is not over internalizing within it. And what does it mean when we're over internalizing upon things? And that's what I meant in terms of also the fact with Mercury in Virgo, right? Mercury in Virgo can often speak towards that feeling of, I keep on getting like the feeling of energetic pressure upon which we feel things. And I got to stress, it's not that typically when Mercury's in Virgo, it's usually not a big deal. Okay. But that's the funny thing about this particular eclipse cycle. There's a lot of anomalous energetic things that are happening during the eclipse cycle. So it's like, again, it's typically Mercury in Virgo is all about working through a space of precision. But the thing is that when we have Mercury in Virgo, that's also in Virgo season, it's the intensity of feeling energetic pressure in terms of being precise, right? And this is why I keep on seeing, like, this is why I kept on articulating upon making sure that you're bringing compassion to things, right? Not assuming things during the retrograde, understanding that everybody is feeling it, being able to communicate upon something that one is feeling. And I keep on getting to, it's the observation that communicating upon how one is feeling doesn't require one to effectively have to be nice. It's almost like working through it's like the niceness that is replaced with specificity is the best way I can describe it. Now, this is really important for all of the energy across all of the frequencies, but I see that it's really important right now, specifically for the energy in separation. Because one of the things that we're potentially seeing that's occurring right now in the energy in separation, and I basically got two different modalities that I'm observing for energy in separation right now. This is energy that is in separation, that is potentially contending or dealing with this retrograde eclipse energy. And the thing about it is, I feel like the thing with this particular retrograde eclipse that can feel very heavy or intense is the fact that we've got Neptune and Saturn that are both retrograding in the span of the eclipse process. that can create a lot of things coming back up from the past. And that's not necessarily a negative thing, right? A lot of the stirring up, like I want to describe it, right? Like the retro Neptune and Saturn in retrograde during an eclipse cycle can often feel like it stirs things up from the past, right? But the space, and this is why I was articulating upon not being energetically reactive, because when we're able to articulate and identify what we are trying to do in a greater fashion, this is why I keep on seeing that this is either energy in separation that is articulating upon the specificity upon what they are energetically looking for from the past versus what it is that they're looking for going forward. Because this is what I keep on seeing that is happening right now for some of the energy in separation, right? It has to do with the quality and context of change. Healthy partnership is the space what we like, healthy partnership is not a space of stagnation. It's a space by which change, like we invest in each other, like it's a work that we do to build into the context of change, right? We roll with the punches when we're in relationship together. We navigate that force or that weight. Now I keep on seeing that for some of the energy that is in separation, the observation, right? We often identify this, and it's a conversation, it's a recognition of understanding when our manifestation goals aren't aligned, right? Often, when we try to move something towards a manifestation goal and another person starts articulating and saying, why are you changing? Like, why are you causing problems in something? It's often the amplification of recognizing someone that doesn't share the same manifestation goals as us, right? Because it's the understanding that the healthy relationship is one that can navigate change, that allows that change to be energetically possible. So everything we keep on seeing right now is, and I keep on hearing, there's something really beautiful that's happening right now for energy in separation that is centering in their steadiness in relationality to the manifestation goal. And I keep on hearing the message for the energy and separation of it's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask. And the reason I keep on seeing that is, and that's what I meant in relationality to this feeling like these are moon partnerships that are starting to come together right now. Because the observation that when you articulate upon what you want, right? When you articulate to another person what you want, and they start telling you that you're burdening them with it, right? It's the observation that they don't want the same thing as you, right? Because when we tell someone what we energetically want and we want the same things, it feels like an energetic celebration. It's like, yay! It's like it's confetti energy. It's the space by which we feel that sense of energetic celebration. But when we articulate something that isn't in our manifestation goal, it feels more like an energetic burden, right? It feels more like an energetic weight. So everything we keep on seeing right now is these are energies in separation that are recognizing that they're healing from expansion problems. And I keep on hearing a healthy relationship is one that can expound upon what they're expanding on. A healthy relationship is something that can expound upon what they are expanding on, which is the space by which they can articulate upon what the direction is like what direction is going in. And that's why I keep on seeing, remember when I said, it's not the fact that this retrograde might be bringing things up from the past, but I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, the space of something being brought up from the past is the observation or the understanding of the difference between the energetic past that arrives back to us because they energetically want to go back to something, right? Like the energetic, I keep on seeing like the return to the space by which we may have experienced trauma, or it is the space or place by which we identify and recognize what feels like it's moving in a healthy direction. And so I keep on saying this is a gift of a bit of the energy and separation, having received a lot of that direction sense going through those temperance lessons that we've been experiencing up until this point. And so I keep on seeing that it's interesting because I almost feel that for like for some of these, like, for some of the energy and separation, it feels like a little bit of, I want to describe it as like, it feels like a little bit of no thank you energy. Like it feels like a little bit of that force of intention in I keep on seeing being energetically respective as it relates to the clarity in terms of the direction that something is going in. And this is why I keep on seeing that for these new relationships that are coming together right now, it's interesting because I see a process being slowed down. These new relationship partnerships, there's something really important and significant that we see that is energetically occurring in relationality to, the best way I can describe it, being is the space by which, and it's interesting too, like, and I need to describe this, and this is what I mean about the moon energy, like working into the context of being an energetic shield, right? Because I keep on hearing, like, when we are energetic shields, we don't take things personally. I keep on seeing, like, when we are energetic shields, we understand and identify our own energetic authenticity. So that's why I keep on seeing that this is a lot of the relationships that are approaching each other delicately, because remember how I said that some of these relationships, these are individuals in separation that have potentially been wounded by energy that was experiencing or working through something from a place of self-deception. And what does self-deception often look like? Self-deception is often the articulation of identifying the fact that one desires an energetic manifestation goal, but like, and this is often why we see this, because it's the understanding that the space by which we are ready to energetically embody that manifestation goal is one that we effectively welcome that or celebrate those changes. And so this is why I keep on seeing, like, and this is like this is almost like the conversation that I see that is happening right now for energy in separation. It's almost like the energy having conversations about having been wounded by energy that claimed that they wanted partnership, but they were too comfortable in the space of separation. Right? I keep on hearing it's like, it's a little bit of that, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, you can't say, like, I keep on hearing, you can't say that you desire union while being actively in hermit mode. It's like, as I keep on seeing. It requires, I keep on seeing, it requires the ability to kind of step out of your energetic comfort zone. So there's a lot of, like, I feel like that's how, like, there's a lot of healthy conversation that I see that is acting as foundation of a lot of these new relationships. This brings us to the center card of today's spread, and this is going to be talking to us about those temperance partnerships that we're moving deeper, that are moving deeper into divine union right now. And these were coming together from about the time of the Uranus going retrograde before the eclipse, up until the solstice period. Center card for today's spread. 2 cards coming out. Look at that. 9 of Cups in combination with our Page of Wands in its upright. So what are we seeing here in relationality to these 2 cards? So this is what I was talking about in relationality to the energy, recognizing that I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's almost apologizing for holding back on one another, is what I keep on seeing. There's something, I keep on seeing there's something really, there's something really energetically beautiful that's occurring there, because I keep on seeing it for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union. I keep on getting it's the ability to articulate upon the fact that they're going through a heart opening, or they're opening their heart more, because there was, I keep on seeing, it's like the observation of trying to articulate to one another that they had a feeling, they were worried that each other were too good to be true, is what I keep on seeing. But this is what I meant in relationality in relationality to those partnerships coming together right now, because I keep on seeing the space by which they articulate and identify to one another. The feeling of being too good to be true for one another was predicated upon the experiences that they had in the past in relationality to being, I keep wondering, in being in relationality to being let down, right? And why, and that's what I meant in terms of the energy potentially expounding more upon their history to one another, walking through those wounds together, because it's almost like the energy that's trying to articulate the meaning that they have for one another by being able to share the story of everything that they encountered before encountering one another. This brings us to the energy that is deep within divine union, and these are those magician partnerships that were coming together from about the time of the, and for the purposes of our readings, we always just read to the last energy that moved deeper into divine union. And so the purposes of our reading, that was the energy that was coming together from a period of the solstice up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. We have here our Six of Pentacles. In combination with the Justice card. This is just a reaffirmation that this energy right now is most difficult for the energy that is deep within divine union. I'll put it this way. For energy and separation right now, it's honoring the delicacy, right? It's honoring the delicacy of vulnerability. So there's a lot of sensitivity right now in separation. For the energy, these magician partnerships moving deeper into divine union right now, it's really hard because they're going through a maturation process. And what's hard about a maturation process, and the reason I keep on getting it's a maturation process, it's the ability to articulate and identify what is happening as it relates to some situations and circumstances outside of partnership, but not being able to do anything about it. Like that's what's so difficult with, thank you, with a maturation lesson. It's like observing something and being like, I know what's happening, right? Because this is the energy that's almost reflective of their own past for reference, particularly and especially if these are relationships that are centering partnership in a way that they've never centered partnership before, right? The profound impact. When we center partnership, it often changes the orbit of the energy around us. And so that's why I keep on seeing that this is why there's a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union right now that's healing their relationship to Saturn. Because when you're going, I keep on hearing, when you're going through a maturation process and you're having issues in relationality to having something that feels like an energetic celebration, but another person takes it personally, right? It's the hope that Saturn can effectively fix that, which is the understanding that certain lessons come to us as we continue to energetically mature. And so that's why I keep on seeing what's hard about a lot of those experiences is potentially having conversations in partnership, in relationality to energy outside of relationship, not being energetically mature to handle the energetic relationship. So that's what I keep on seeing. That is what I keep on seeing that feels so frustrating for some of the energy that is deep within divine union. It's like the observation of something that is like, it's just, it just gets on your, you can't do anything about it, but it's like, well, yeah, you're like welcome to an energetic maturity lesson. Continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Wands in combination with our Wheel of Fortune and its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with the Sun card. So I feel like I would not be surprised for some of the energy and separation right now. I feel like there's something really important that's happening. And I keep on getting this. And this is what I meant about this feeling like, and this is why this almost feels like further confirmation. I know this is going to sound bizarre, but the Sun card is almost giving me further confirmation that these are moon relationships that are coming together, because I want to show you that, and it has to do, it's funny because it's like, it has to do with navigating our own bizarreness is what I keep on seeing, right? The observation, right? The space, we are only bizarre insofar as we don't understand ourselves. Okay. Because the space by which we are able to articulate and amplify, and this is what I keep on seeing that is happening right now for the energy in separation. Because, and I need to stress this, I almost feel like there's some energy in separation that was trying to move something into a deeper level of union, and another person getting literally like articulating to another person that they were being weird for doing that. That's the kind of stuff I'm seeing here, right? Like the space by which one, and this is what we keep on getting. It's a further conversation of understanding that healthy relationship is always logical. Okay, healthy relationship is always logical, which means when you're moving towards the next logical step, it is something that is energetically celebrated. But when you're in an unhealthy relationship and you try to do something logical, the energy will articulate that that is something that is bizarre, right? That you are being the energetic weird one because you're demanding things from something that another person doesn't want to change. So that's what I keep on seeing that is happening right now in the two different modalities of energy in separation, which is I keep on seeing the observation that if you articulate to another person, as long as you are clear, right? As long as you are clear in relationality to one's own intentions, as long as you are energetically clear, and this has a lot to do with the star card that we talked about last night. If you were in that class, and if you missed that class, you can find it over as a paid subscriber over on my stack. When we are energetically clear with ourselves in relationality to our manifestation goals, then when we take the next logical step, it feels like energetic celebration. But when we're not being clear upon our manifestation goals, we articulate that we energetically desire something, and then we start to move towards it, and then the energy starts acting weird about it, it can often be articulating upon spaces of self-deception, right? That's often what we see in the space by which we understand the difference between what we articulate versus what we actually want. And this is why we work to heal the ego, because when we heal the ego, the energetic egoic space is in accordance with the higher self. It's the understanding of is good, feels good, is good, right? The space by which we welcome something forward that we're trying to bring forth. But when we're in more of the place of being energetically too complicated within the self, right? When we're too confused about the self, when we're too much in a space of questioning our own direction, then when we're trying to build into relationship and we're about to take the next logical step, right? Someone starts acting energetically weird. Somebody starts acting energetically weird, like things start getting weird, and it can often be indicative of the difference between what we articulate that we want to move towards versus what we're energetically ready for. And so that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, right? And that's what I mean about the energy in separation. I like this because this is the energy that is working. Like this is the energy right now that is in separation, specifically working on understanding the self to be able to energetically clear the spaces of self-deception, which is the space by which we work to understand ourselves fully, even in the space of our energetic aversions. And it's interesting too, because it's a conversation on triggers. It's not about getting rid of every trigger, right? Some triggers are there for a reason. We're supposed to be triggered about things. Okay. There are healthy triggers. There are things that are logical and reasonable to be triggered about. But when, and this is what's important, when we're not in a healthy space, right? The space by which we understand and navigate our healthy triggers that become our standards. When we're in a healthy space, our triggers are positioned where our standards are, right? Which is the space by which we feel energetically triggered when a standard that we hold isn't being held, right? And that's why I keep on seeing if these are situations by which another person was trying to get upset at another person for having a trigger, I almost see the energy in separation saying we're supposed to have them, but we're supposed to have a healthy trigger is in the space where we keep a standard, right? And this is what happens because and this is what's important because it's articulating upon, again, it's not to, the way you can usually identify a trigger and a standard and whether it feels like it's in energetic accordance to the self is in the space by which you say it's not too much to ask, right? It's the observation and recognition of what it is that we're trying to define and do in a better fashion. It's the ability to do so. It's the ability to put forth that energetic effort. So for a lot of the energy, I keep on seeing, and this is why we talk about the fact that when we're in a healthy space, we never match energy. Why would you ever match energy if someone is doing something or operating in a way that's below your standards? What is that? Okay, what is that? All you do, right? All you do in the space of matching another person energetically when they're not holding your standards is you've had, like, congratulations, they've gotten you moved off your standards. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy and separation right now, the work of centering in this retrograde eclipse cycle is when someone goes low, we remember who we are, right? It's the space by which we understand that the proportionality of what we experience does not identify us. It's something that we energetically observe. And yes, sometimes it can create spaces of reactivity, but it is the reactivity that we are able to articulate and expound upon that allows us to be able to energetically do something more effectively. And so that's what I keep on seeing that's happening right now. And then what's wild is I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy that is in separation, it's understanding the life-changing power of a hard conversation. Is what I keep on hearing. Which is the space by which you try to energetically address something and another person says, I don't know what you're talking about. It's the observation of another person going, exactly. It's the observation. It's the observation of another person going, exactly. Right? It's the introspection and the level or degree of care that we bring to something that allows us to be able to do something in a more effective fashion. And so this is bringing us, for a lot of the energy and separation, I kept on seeing this is either the space by which one is energetically centering in relationality to being able to identify the manifestation goals that one holds and what one is trying to move towards, while also dispelling anything that feels like it's coming from the past, that feels like, I keep on hearing the things that come from the past that feel more oppositional, like feel more like the space of feeling like one needs to match something or meet something as opposed to energetically holding something. And that's very interesting because I keep on seeing that is working into the space of identifying and recognizing the self preciously. Now, for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, and this is also talking to me about the delicate conversations. And I keep on hearing there's something about these relationships that are coming together right now, which is the identification point between delicate and fragile. How can you tell the difference between delicate and fragile? Delicate is when you navigate something delicately because you know that it is something that is difficult to articulate upon. Fragile is articulating upon something that creates a volatility point, right? And this is why I keep on hearing conversation often helps us see things more clearly, because when we are able to articulate upon something, and I keep on seeing it's not I keep wondering, it's not about not being volatile. It is the volatility for good reason, right? It is the volatility that allows the volatility that allows the space by which one is able to do something in a greater way, right? So it's a lot of that. I keep on hearing it's the volatility that fortifies because one is able to articulate upon why something has energetic meaning to the self, rather than looking for a reason or a cause to be energetically indulgent upon the emotions that one wishes to carry. Continuing to get clarification between our Wheel of Fortune, our Page of Wands, and our Nine of Cups in its upright. One card to clarify, please. We've got the 9. Ooh, I like these two cards in combination right now. We've got the 9 of Swords in its reversal in combination with the 9 of Cups in its upright. Let's talk a little bit. And I feel like what's interesting about this, and this is talking towards the energy that's moving deeper into divine union. I keep on hearing it's a conversation in relationality to proportionality. And what's beautiful about that is, and this is why I keep on seeing, remember when I said that for some of these relationships, those temperance partnerships, exploring or expounding upon something that they haven't explored or expanded upon before, the ability to articulate and derive meaning towards things is all I keep on seeing. The observation of being able to amplify and articulate what that work is. I keep on seeing like I keep on hearing this is the energy that is telling the story to one another of what they were experiencing before they met one another. Because I keep on hearing it is the story of before, because again, going through this retrograde cycle, being able to energetically meet and expound upon meeting someone that is energetically exceptional. I keep on seeing it's the exceptionalism of, and I keep on saying like, and then this is what we mean about exceptional, right? Like this is the energy that's almost saying to one another, I've never met someone who like articulates upon what they say and then goes and does it. I keep on seeing. I say it, I do it, I say it, do it, right? It's the words that match the action, right? Because I keep on seeing that this is often how we experience wounds, right? A lot of the trauma that we experience, there's two different propulsions by which we can experience trauma. Either someone that does not traumatize us intentionally. Trauma that is not given to us intentionally is someone that does not recognize and identify. They're in the space of self-deception. Or it is the space or place by which we recognize and identify what it is, or it's a space by which we're not being completely true or articulate upon what our true manifestation goals are. So this is why I keep on seeing that these are those temperance relationships that are finding the words to articulate upon how much they mean to one another. This brings us into the energy that is deep within divine union. Clarification between our Page of Wands, our Nine of Cups, and our Six of Pentacles. These are those magician relationships that we spoke about. Ooh, we got the Eight of Pentacles here. This is nice. This is nice energy right now. I think a lot of the niceness that we're effectively seeing right now is a direct result of the fact, and I was kind of trying to articulate upon this, like Mercury moving into Libra, right? Mercury moving into Libra can create that state of energetic balance. It can create that state of being able to identify and recognize and just moving through things in an energetically consistent fashion is what I keep on seeing. And this is what I meant. And this is what I meant about some of those magician relationships, like working upon or identifying or building into, I keep on seeing like building into the context of developing energetic resolve about something is what I keep on seeing. Because, and I got to stress this is what I meant in relationality to these magician partnerships, like working in the context of something that feels, I keep wondering, like something that feels confusing and complicated outside of partnership, right? Because I keep on seeing that when we're working through experiences and we articulate, like when we articulate upon something that feels like an energetic celebration point, but another person is being energetically reactive to it, it can, I almost feel like it's the energy that feels like trying to understand what another's manifestation goals are, right? Because I keep on seeing that this is what's so painful for some of these magician relationships. I keep wondering, it's the observation of, it's the observation and understanding of recognizing and identifying what feels energetically fortifying by the space or the place by which we are able to articulate and recognize and understand what it is that we energetically like what it is that we energetically mean to one another, or how we express it. And so that's what I keep on seeing that's happening right now for a lot of these relationships, because I keep on seeing these magician partnerships may have this may be the first time. I keep wondering, for some of these magician partnerships, I keep on hearing the energy almost saying they've been in relationship before, but it's never met. I keep on hearing they've never energetically centered the partnership like they've energetically centered the partnership that they're currently experiencing, right? Which is that I keep on hearing like the space by which the relationship is taken seriously. And that's what I keep on seeing, because remember I said that some of those relationships are moving deeper into divine union with a sense of rapidity. And this is why I keep on seeing that it's almost like the energy that is articulating not only the fact that there is relationship, but the seriousness of the relationship that is potentially revealing the quality and condition of the relationships outside of the partnership, is all I keep on seeing. And so that's why I keep on getting like there's something very bittersweet that is potentially happening right now for some of those magician partnerships, because it's like I keep on seeing it's like it's seeing something but not necessarily feeling like you can change it, but still like, and this is what I meant, it's like working with Saturn in the space of saying, can you handle that? I hope you can handle that. Continuing to get clarification between our Six of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Justice card in its reversal. Woo, we got that Fool card. We got this Fool card in its reversal. I gotta tell you right now, there's like, I gotta tell you, I'm just reading for this a little for the energy in separation. And the thing I keep on seeing is it has to do with salt. It's giving me like it's interesting too, because it has to do with saltiness, and I want to tell you, and I think it has a bit to do too with the fact that Uranus is in retrograde right now, which is, how do I describe this? How do I describe this best? The space by which, and it has to do with proportionality. Now, the identification point of recognizing and identifying that things are energetically fortified by conversation. You'll recall that I spoke about the fact that there are a lot of energy in separation, that we're potentially experiencing a circumstance or situation where a lot of emotionality came up upon something, where there was an energetic standard, but another person not energetically respecting the standard and seeing someone emotional in the moment that they were being energetically fundamental about something may have created a little bit of this space of someone like energetically moving away from someone. And that's why I keep on seeing that, like, if this is the energy that comes back towards one another during this retrograde, and I keep on saying it's not the fact that there isn't some fundamental restoration that is occurring in the vibration of this retrograde eclipse cycle, but it is the restoration as it relates to an overabundance of emotionality, to something that was not proportional to what was happening. I would not be surprised if there's some relationships right now that are healing from experiences that happened during another eclipse cycle, because often eclipse cycles trigger situations like that. We feel an overabundance of emotionality, but then with like a bit of like with something that was not energetically relevant, something that was not energetically important. Those can often be healed in the space of time, because being able to take the accountability in terms of articulating something that was not called for, right? I feel like there is something there that feels like it's energetically restorative. But even there, I keep on seeing there's something like there's like it's like I keep on seeing it's the ability, and I keep on hearing when we receive that, it doesn't fix the trauma, but it helps us like, the reason that feels so important is because it reaffirms our own energetic conviction and being able to understand, identify what it is that we're like, the full force of what it is of something that we're experiencing, that we're trying to resolve or heal within the self. Right? It's resolving is what I keep on hearing. Like the resolving apology is what I keep on seeing. While for the energy that is, and that's what I said, there may be a lot of cycles that are coming to a place of energetic closure during this eclipse and retrograde cycle. And some of those cycles that I effectively see or identify that may be coming into that space of closure right now have to do, I keep on seeing, with spaces or places wherein I keep on hearing the, it's giving me the vibration of the, I keep on hearing the mutable apology, right? And what is the mutable apology? Which is, I keep on hearing like the space by which it's the space by which something like it's a space by which something continuously occurs that articulates the energetic exhaustion upon something, is what I keep on seeing. And that's what I keep on hearing in relationality to potentially this particular retrograde cycle bringing up conversations, right? It's like it's bringing up a conversation that allows one to be able to do something in a better fashion. So I either see, and that's what's interesting about it. And I need to point this out. What often happens when we try to have a clarifying conversation, and that's what I mean. If someone's trying to have a clarifying conversation right now, and another person is treating them ubiquitously, right? Which is the space by which another person tries to clarify what is occurring, and another person says, I don't know what you're talking about. That is the closure. Right there. That is the energetic closure point, is what I keep on seeing. Because I keep on hearing, when we can never be clearer and another person sees our clarity as ubiquity, then it is the observation of the deniability of something that is occurring that allows the I keep on hearing, it allows the space by which we identify and articulate and recognize that is something that we're energetically healing from. So for a lot of like I keep on hearing, like, for a lot of energy, right? It's like, this is the energy that is healing. Like, this is the energy that is healing from energy playing dumb, is what I keep on hearing. This is the energy that is healing. This is the energy that is healing from the energy that is playing dumb. Because when we are playing dumb, then we're trying to make another person go numb. So I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy, like, I see the energy being like that's what I mean in terms of like the clarifying conversation. I see, like, I keep on hearing it's the okay that becomes a goodbye, is what I keep on getting. Continuing to get clarification between our Sun card in its upright in combination with our Nine of Swords in its reversal. Two cards coming out. We've got here the Knight of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Two of Pentacles in its upright. So let's talk a little bit, like, and this is giving me, this is what I'm seeing, you know, and I want to describe this right now. For the energy that is in separation right now, these new relationships that are coming together, do you see why they're treading so carefully towards one another? Because I keep on hearing that there's something about the energy in separation that is healing in some profound way as it relates to another person's deniability, right? And that's what's so painful in relationality, to being able to articulate upon something and another person articulating upon, and this is what we sometimes get in relationality, to observing that we're experiencing a different reality than another, right? The reality that we energetically share is one that we energetically honor. It's the space by which we're able to articulate and express something that has meaning to us. And that's why I keep on seeing, if these are experiences, and this is why we talk about why passive aggressiveness will ruin everything. Because, and here's the thing about it, when we are being energetically passive aggressive, right? We assume, it's almost the space by which we try to create trauma without being able to do the work to try to resolve something, right? Like, passive aggressiveness is one of the most toxic things that we experience as it relates to existence, because the space by which we are articulate, because you have to understand that anything that is healthy is something that can be conversed upon. It's something that can be spoken about. It's the observation of understanding and deriving meaning towards things and putting that energetic significance upon it. And so when we're navigating in spaces or places or acting in ways that feel passive aggressive, it's the energetic insult in trying to make another person experience something that isn't happening, right? It's the observation. It is the nullification. It's the double-edged sword of the nullification in doing something that not only is energetically wounding, but also doing it in such a way that one is trying to take deniability in having an energetic feeling. It's awful. It's awful. It's a terrible way to live. It's a terrible experience. And that's why we work. And this is why we work on healing the energetic shadow, because you have to understand that the psyche is very defensive, right? The psyche is very energetically defensive. And so you have to understand, and that's what I mean in relationality. That's why I kept on telling you guys, don't take things that occur during this retrograde cycle personally, because there's a lot of stuff happening. And so for a lot of the energy, understanding and recognizing that when we when we like when especially, and this is why things like this always happen during retrograde cycles, this type of energy is literally, it magnetizes things. Something that would typically not bother you becomes a massive thing, right? It's all you can focus on. It's like, you know, it's like, it's like, it's a magnifier. It magnifies things, right? And that's why I always tell you guys, like, don't, like, it's not that you can't communicate upon something that's happening during the retrograde, but make sure it is intentional in relationality to what you are articulating upon. And a good way of identifying that, I always like to point out, the good way of identifying what is an inside versus outside problem of the self is the observation that if something is not easy to express or articulate to another, the work needs to happen in here. If it's something that's happening outside the self, then it's something that we can effectively articulate upon. And so what we're effectively seeing too is for a lot of the energy that we're seeing, and this is what I mean in relationality to these moon relationships that are potentially coming together right now. I keep on hearing the reason that these are potentially moon partnerships is the observation that when we're healing, we do the work so that you don't have to. Right? Like that's what effective spirituality is, right? It's not the space by which we say, you know, you're not good enough or you're not good enough. It's the understanding of recognizing that we do the work internally so that others don't have to put up with our to put up with our shadow. They don't have to put up with our nonsense, right? And none of us are perfect in that way, right? None of us are perfect. And it's in the moment that we recognize and navigate our imperfection that we become sublime, because it's a space by which we understand that we're working to do something in the best way that we can. And even if we're not perfect in that way, that becomes that is the space. Like that is what humility actually means. Humility doesn't mean experiencing the space by which you think that you're awful. It's understanding and recognizing what the work is. It's trying to identify and be open and adaptable to something that you might not see in the self that you're working on doing in a better fashion. Right? Like that's what humility means. It's the ability to calibrate. It's the ability to kind of resolve something. So for a lot of the energy that's doing this work right now, I feel like this is a retrograde, particularly for the energy in separation, that allows the observation in being able to recognize and identify something that one could be doing in a better way. Right. And I always see that those moments, right, it's hard. Right. And I wouldn't be surprised right now if a lot of these relationships that are coming together right now are having those moments or those modalities of having heart to hearts. Right. I keep on seeing that's what these relationships coming together right now. It's delicate stuff. Right. It's feeling the intensity of a lot of volatility as it relates to the energetic polarity that we're experiencing in combination to the retrograde and the eclipse cycle happening at the same time. And so that's why I keep on seeing that for the energy that is coming together at this time, they're doing so very delicately. They're filling each other out. And for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, I keep on seeing that for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, it's almost the conversation that they're having to one another. And I keep on hearing, it's like the energy is almost saying to one another. And it's interesting too, because I said energy. I tried to say energy and it came out as energy, but it's the space by which they almost say to one another, those temperance relationships, you'll have to forgive me if I was restraining myself because of past wounds, because I didn't recognize or realize that you were energetically exceptional. Right. And this is why we talk about the fact that heart opening processes take time, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like working through those wounds, building into that force of energetic resolve. I keep on I almost hear the energy, almost saying to one another and saying I never thought I'd find someone like you. You know, this is literally, that's what I mean. I almost hear this energy almost saying to one another, they're telling each other the full expand of how they had almost abandoned hope before they had come across one another. Now, for the energy that is the energy moving deeper into divine union right now, and you'll recall for a lot of this energy moving deeper into divine union right now, we're speaking specifically upon those magician relationships. This is more difficult because I keep on seeing it's an amplification of recognizing and identifying something that's potentially happening outside of partnership that they can't necessarily change, but they understand fully, is what I keep on seeing. Clarification between the Nine of Swords in its reversal and the Eight of Pentacles in its upright. Yeah, there's that Page of Cups, right? It's a lot of, I keep on saying, it's a lot of the observation and the reason I keep on seeing that this energy is going through a maturation process is the energy is almost looking at one another and saying, I remember feeling that way. I remember experiencing that. Right? It's the energy going on. The energy is seeing something out of partnership that they can't change, but almost observing and recognizing the fact that they understand it profoundly. It's a maturation process. And that's why I keep on hearing they're working through Saturn lessons. Because when we see, I keep on saying, when we see something that we identify, but we also know we can't force the wisdom into it, it's the energy that says, I hope they'll energetically come around to it. Continuing to get clarification. In between the Eight of Pentacles in combination with our Fool card in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. We've got here the World card. And so what are we seeing? What are we seeing right now with the World card? How do I describe this best? The World card, a lot of the space that we identify with the World card for the energy that is in separation right now. And this is what I mean about working through this retrograde process. We center ourselves by remembering who we are, right? It's the space by which we find that modality or that moment of being able to articulate and amplify like what it is that we're trying to do, who we are, like that space by which we recalibrate. And I keep on seeing I almost feel like there's something about this particular retrograde eclipse process that feels like an energetic recalibration. And the reason I keep on observing that it feels like an energetic recalibration is because it's the observation. I keep on seeing, and I like to point this out, and this is often what happens in relationality to Neptune and Saturn both retrograding together, right? Like often, and it's happening for masculine and feminine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. When we have those modalities or those experiences by which we feel that determination point of the past that potentially pulls us back, or when we feel those moments where we're trying to rush ahead in terms of who we aspire to be, the ability to center within the context of the self, right? The ability to find clarity in terms of building into the center of the self. I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, and this is what I mean about Mercury kind of being in Libra, it allows for a lot of that, like I want to say, it's the consistency that one is able to navigate, even going through the ebbs and flows energetically of the retrograde eclipse cycle. Because I kept on telling you guys that this energy right now is incredibly spiky. Something's going and then it's not. Something's going, everything's working until it doesn't, right? It's a lot of this, but being able to kind of find that energetic balance point, even as we're going through the rockiness of the energy, is its own breakthrough point. So I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this firmly. You don't need to activate in every energetic cycle. Every energetic cycle is not a calling. Okay. If all you need to do right now, if all you need to do as you're going through this energy is just feel even keeled, I want you to appreciate how important that is. I want you to understand and recognize how wonderful that is. let that help you as we go through a lot of this work. Because again, one of the things that we see particularly, and I would like to tell you that the energy is going to calm down, but it's probably going to amplify because we're also coming towards that new moon that's also during the solar eclipse that's going to feel it's going to feel very energetically intense. Now, continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Swords and its reversal and our Two of Pentacles in combination with our Page of Cups and its upright. We've got here the Ace of Wands and its reversal. I feel like one of the messages I keep on seeing with this type of retrograde eclipse is understanding always patient, never waiting. which is something that I keep on hearing across all of the frequencies right now. And it has to do with the space by which I keep on seeing, like how, like when we're in the context of doing work upon the self, we don't energetically wait upon things. And why do we not wait upon things? Because when we're like, and this is, I keep on hearing, this is how hope is not found in waiting for things to energetically adjust or accommodate. Hope, and we talked a lot about this in yesterday's class on the star card, which you can find over on my stack. Hope is something that we craft with our hands, right? When things are feeling less than perfect, we don't turn aversion away from it, right? I keep wondering, like, we don't turn our nose from it. And this is why, like, this is often what happens. And this is why some of this energy has been feeling very difficult, because it's healing the understanding or the call of perfection. And this is something that often those with a lot of Virgo placements have to work through, right? Because sometimes when you can picture perfect in your head, it feels like a crux, right? When you have a perfect picture in your head, I bet it can sometimes feel like a miserable experience, because everywhere you go, you're like, like this is not what I. But that's the thing. You have to understand. It's a magical moment. Imagine the beauty of having the gift of being able to see perfect in things. Imagine that gift, because when we stop beating ourselves up upon the fact that we can see something perfected, and instead of coming into the space of being critical about the fact that something doesn't match what's in our head, but instead see that as an energetic calling, right? The gift that's placed in us, that's what we call a vision, right? When we understand that perfection is a vision and a calling, we don't hold others accountable for it. We understand and observe that it is the ability to give towards it, right? It's the accommodation point by which we're able to try to help bring something into energetic being. So I feel like this is really important as it relates to the energy and separation right now, because I keep on seeing that I would not be surprised if there's energy and conversation that is having very specific conversations in relationality to manifestation goals, because I keep on hearing the same message for the energy and separation. A conversation and manifestation goals only breaks unhealthy partnership. Yeah, you're right. Talking about manifestation goals will ruin things. They'll ruin the best things possible. Talking about your manifestation goals will potentially break something. It'll break an unhealthy relationship. It'll break something that has a different standards than you, right? But that's the thing about it. And this is why we talk about the understanding that sometimes the ability to navigate something through difficulty is something that helps to heal us. Because I keep on hearing, the hard conversation that brings clarity. Working towards a manifestation goal isn't the space by which we wait for another person to change their mind about something. It's the space by which we say, okay, we resolve ourselves to something, and then we continue forward. Right? It's the observation that space, that's what we mean by always patient, never waiting, which is the space by which we say, okay, it's cool you feel like that. I'm going to proceed forward. It's the understanding that adaptability occurs, but not getting hard on ourselves because someone won't change. And this is the worst thing that happens in manifestation goals, is when we hold on to something and we demand a manifestation embody in someone that it does not want to embody in. You know what I mean? You're grabbing something, you're trying to say, like, turn into this. You know what I mean? Turn into this. And this is why we don't put our manifestations in the energy of the person. We put it in what it is we're energetically seeking. Because when we find the healthy partnership that allows us to be the full blush of who we are, we become energetically exceptional. So everything we keep on seeing here, a lot of the energy, right? And I feel like this is what's so hard for some of the energy in separation. I almost feel some energy that's coming back to someone in separation and saying, are you done yet? And what is the healthy energy saying? You mean, am I done being me? Right? Potentially. And this is what's hard when we recognize that someone's trying to embody a manifestation in us that we are not in alignment to. It's often articulated by the space of saying to another person, I know you love me, but I don't know if you particularly like me. Right? That the force of alignment is not one that we say, I care about you, but you better change. It's the space by which we feel the vibration and energetically celebrating who we are. right? We don't pin our manifestations in the embodiment of others becoming what we desire them to be, but rather, again, amplifying the fact that love is the space of allowing someone to honor the choices that they want to make. Only, and again, recognizing and understanding that your choices should not come at the harm of another living person. That the space by which a healthy manifestation goal is one that we can mutually share is where we find ourselves held, seen, and supported. And so that's why I keep on seeing that potentially, and this is what I mean for some of these relationships that are coming together right now, the delicacy that's potentially occurring is working towards something in such a way to be able to navigate whether energy is authentic in relationality to the standards that they are articulating to one another. Because when we are energetically clear, we don't give each other false standards, right? Why would you do that? Why would you build into a context where you're articulating you want something that you don't want? That's how you build a world of misery for yourself. The space by which we understand and identify ourselves is how we create a healthy life. It's how we become clear within and how we become clear without, because it's the articulation of being able to be clear in terms of what we want that allows us to be able to find the things we're energetically looking for. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Cups and the World card, we've got here the Knight of Cups in its reversal. So and this is what's so hard right now. This is what's happening right now for the energy that's deep within divine union. Because for the energy deep within divine union, remember I told you, they're centering like they've never centered before. They're centering partnership like they never centered before. And they're noticing weird energy outside of partnership. And when we notice weird energy outside of partnership, when we're centering partnership like we never have before, it creates the space of having to navigate and recognize whether another's manifestations are in alignment with our own. And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, that observation, that recognition, I keep on seeing like it's bittersweet. Like I see the energy that is understanding. Like I literally see the energy moving into deeper into divine union. Those magician parts are just going, we're going through a maturation process. Like, and what do we often say? Like, what is the energy saying potentially? They're moving through a process. They're looking at something outside of partnership and saying they're not energetically maturing. They're not energetically mature enough to handle the energetic partnership, is what I keep on seeing. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Knight of Cups in its reversal. We've got here the Devil card. Okay, let's talk about this. So the one thing that we're recognizing and identifying right now, and this is what I meant in relationality to this type of energy. And this is why I kept on saying right now, don't take things personally during this retrograde process. Okay, this retrograde eclipse cycle is the perfect place to be able to project things. Okay, you know why? Because I'm going to tell you right now, and the thing about it is actually it's Chiron and Eris being in retrograde together. And what does Chiron and Eris in retrograde together happen? What does that mean? Something that one person does innocuously that triggers you on the most profound level that that beyond anything that you may recognize, right? The space by which we understand that others don't know others don't carry our triggers, feeling energetically triggered by something that another person may not necessarily even recognize, did not even energetically intend to do. And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the relationship or a lot of the circumstances or situations right now, the ability, I keep on hearing the understanding the work of honoring the feelings is not the space by which you do something because you felt something. Okay? Because you could eat a bad sandwich. You could be in a mood. Like, don't be reactive because of the mood that you're energetically in. Understand that moods are changeable, right? Who we are is fundamental. But ironically, when we are too reactive to our moods, that is who we are, right? It's the space by which we understand and recognize that temperament is not the space by which we articulate upon something. It is the observation of it that allows us to be able to kind of work through things. And the thing about it, I'm telling you right now, you've probably seen it. Everybody's all up in their feels right now. Of course they are. Aries is in retrograde. Everything in Aries is in retrograde. Nobody's got time for anything. Everybody's wants to take things personally. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that you should or should not be taking personally right now, but make sure that you're navigating them compassionately. make sure you're navigating them compassionately. And navigating things compassionately is being able to understand the force of intention in relationality to being able to articulate upon something that means something to us. It's the space by which we amplify and articulate the meaning of something. So, and I keep on seeing that is the space by which we have those healthy conversations. And I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, there's healthy resolution that's occurring in this retrograde process. But it's the type of energy, like this is a type of retrograde that helps us identify what the work is. Bottom of the deck on today's reading, the Star card. So Star card, and that's wild because as you may know, we just did the Star class. It occurred last night. You can find that recording over on my Stack if you're a paid Stack subscriber. It's a conversation, and it's something that's really important that came up right now. And it actually harkens back to something that was said in yesterday. Yesterday, there was a question that was given to me in relationality to a question about the Star card. And it's a misconception that we actually have with the Star card. And the misconception was the space by which we identify and recognize. Someone asked me, they said, is the Star card is the Star card an attention-seeking card? Is it a card about attention seeking? And I actually clarified. I said, I think that that's a misconception in relationality, the Star card. When it comes to attention, right? When it comes to the generation of attention, we see that more in the Hierophant card, right? That's a card that's more about attention. But what's interesting, and I like to point this out, and this is a perfect kind of observation to kind of take with us out of this reading today. The reason that the Star card is considered attention seeking is because they're disrobed. Is this energy doing anything to try to generate attention beyond just being in their authenticity? Right? And the fact that others sometimes see this card and their response to it is to say that the Star card is attention seeking. It's the energy that often tells on themselves, right? Because when we see someone in their authenticity, right? This is just someone just pouring some water, and we articulate that the card is something that is energetically attention seeking. It talks more about the gravitas by which we are looking towards authenticity. Authenticity is gravitating, but we cannot punish those that are energetically authentic due to the gravity that they uphold in terms of finding their authenticity. But often this is what happens in the space of simply existing, right? You're just trying to go about your business and someone says, stop taking so much attention. And you're like, what? And this is why, right? And this is why it's often difficult, because when we are authentic, we often become the center point of others' projections, right? And it's the space, and this is why when we do the work effectively, right? When we're doing the work effectively, we navigate and recognize the difference between how we feel about things versus what someone is trying to bring out in us. And the observation, right? The observation between the difference between something that is stirred up within us in terms of observing something versus something that another person is intentionally trying to stir up in us is the difference between being compassionate versus being dispassionate, right? Because when someone is trying to stir something up in you, they're being energetically dispassionate, which is the space of trying to get you energetically triggered to be energetically volatile, versus being compassionate is recognizing something that one feels energetically triggered about that has absolutely nothing to do with the person and has more to do with the self. So I feel like there's a lot of that work that is coming up in this retrograde period. I would not be surprised if you're feeling like you're dealing with a lot of people's either projections or working through a lot of self-reflection. Make sure that you're doing it with the most important thing, which is holding compassion for the self in the process. And that doesn't mean you have to be nice about everything. Compassion is communicating upon something that has meaning to the self. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I'll never DM you. I'll never PM you. I'll never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our class on the star card last night. I had such a wonderful time going over that card with you. If you missed our live class, you can still find it as a paid subscriber over on my Stack. Your subscription will give you access to that recording. You'll also have access as a monthly subscriber to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class program. You'll also have access to our next tarot class, which is going to be held live on Wednesday, October 15th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the moon card. I also want to let you guys know that if you become, you'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me to ask any questions you may have in relation to any of those classes. And now is a beautiful time to join, because while I do my best to give you updates on everything we've studied, so you don't need to catch up, you could take the time right now to be able to take as many of those classes as you want between now and the next class. If you become a founding member to my Stack, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of classes, you'll also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 18 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You'll also have access to the option of receiving a one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. You can purchase these. These are for any of my students who are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again